welcome round the table. And this one is our Halloween special.
It is.
So you will have seen us at Amanda Took's not too long ago, and it was really good to catch up with her.
It's really
I've done
good.
so many of her workshops and things, but mostly online, so it was really lovely to see her in person.
And I'm in a manifesting group, which
Me
is also
too.
online. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I've not seen you in there.
Yeah.
Ah.
So
I'm a noob.
and you're a newbie. Yeah. So yeah, just lovely to get together again and just sort of start to go deeper into the winter of things.
Yeah.
The resting of the bones and the honouring of the ancestors and those sort of traditions. So that's what we're going to be chatting about tonight.
Yeah, and I need to rest my bones because it's cold now outside.
Time to get cosy.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely time to get cosy. So let's catch up with you. What have you been up to? How's the pottery going?
Well, it's going.
It's going.
It's still going. So yeah, shouldn't be too far off now. But yes, it's also the end of camping season, which is so sad. So yeah, the pottery will speed up now that camping season is over.
Yeah. Because you're out almost every weekend, aren't you, at festivals
As
and things?
much as I can be.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting when it opens. Yeah, really good.
Looking forward to it.
And you've had your wedding.
Yes. Hand fasting.
Hand fasting, sorry.
Hand fasting.
Sorry.
So yeah, I tried to stay away from the w word.
Sorry.
The word and the w word. Don't like them. So yes, just a very intimate, casual hand fasting. Yeah, so it's been a busy time. I've had my family with me from South Africa, and they've all been staying, and that's interesting in Hedgehog HQ because it's a tiny cottage. So 5 adults and 2 dogs. It's been a good time. Yeah, and really excited and getting things done in the shop, painting and decorating and things like that. So
Yeah, it's looking lovely.
lots of new classes, lots of new events, and looking forward to my shadow work course coming up in November.
Yay, that's going to be lovely. And we had our brushes and brews.
Yes.
Brushes and brews, and we're going to try and do these once a month, aren't we? If enough people come. So doing painting, and you don't have to be an artist or anything. We're going to gently lead you into painting, which is cottages, full moons, mushrooms.
Did you see what I sent you today?
Yeah.
Some more ideas.
Yeah. So lots of ideas. Yeah.
And of course we've started belly dancing as well.
Yes.
So that's been fun. Shimmy. So yeah, just really interesting. Been busy month.
Really busy October. Been a little
Downtime.
time.
Yeah.
Getting ready for the winter. And not doing too much, hopefully.
Yeah. I keep saying that every month. I think now next month I'm really not going to do any extra.
Yeah.
Next month I really am going to, and then you look at your calendar again and it's just
It kind of fills me a little bit with, not dread, because I love the stuff that I do, but kind of like overwhelm of, I've got to do something all the time, like, and I really want to try and pare that back over winter. And I know people get busy in the rush towards Christmas and, but I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of any of that. I want to kind of really go into the seasons and just feel into that. I say that every year.
Yeah.
I say that every year. My dream would be to save up enough money the rest of the year to have like November, December and January off in a cabin somewhere.
So this year I took January off.
Did you?
Well, it wasn't off, was it? Because I was at home working from
Yeah.
home, but I closed the shop for January, which was the first time, and that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting to do.
Do you think you do it again?
I don't know.
Mm.
I'm not sure. But we have planned to go away anyway in January, so it might be on the cards for at least 10 days, 2 weeks anyway, that I'll close. So we'll see.
It's interesting because online my sales are alright in January, it's normally a good month, and then February, March it plummets. So yeah, so I always think, oh, January is actually quite a good month for online stuff. But I have to remember, hang on, February and March not very good, and I'm always ill in January. So I think I always get in that thing of, oh, you've got to do things. It's a new year according to the normal. I was going to say the normal people.
the Gregorian calendar.
And I always feel like.
Notice how we both went.
I know.
After we said that, like it was a bit of a bad taste in the mouth. The Gregorian calendar.
I always get into that. I suppose I wonder if I pick up on other people's energies of new. And so I've put a message in my phone from last year saying, do not fall into that same trap because you'll be ill. Like every year for about 5 years, every January. So I think I'm going to be really aware of that.
The interesting thing about January is that people are promoting this New Year's resolutions, manifesting, vision boards and things like that. A vision board is okay, but for me, January is still the dreaming time. It's the time of dreaming your dreams. It's not the time to take action on your dreams. And people still haven't, I think, understood that.
Yeah.
Only once the spring energy comes in and you get that spurt of growth from the earth, that's when you harness that and then go into taking action on your dreams. But January, everything's still very dormant, and so it's that dreaming and imagining part of it, but it's not the awakening yet, or the birthing of it. To me, February that's when that starts, and then it's really at its cusp in March at Ostara. But we're going way ahead. We're in Samhain.
I know,
This is the shadow and the dark. This is the hunkering down and the cozy. And pumpkin lattes and all sorts. So this is the bones of the year. This is the time to sing the bones, the time to full marrow of your bones.
I'm feeling my marrow.
Getting the marrow going. So yeah. So what if I know what I've got planned for Samhain. And it's always really, really busy. My brother's birthday is Samhain, which is lovely. And we do a dumb supper. So traditional Celtic dumb supper is the way I tend to celebrate it, honouring the ancestors with a poem or words, lighting a candle for those who have passed over, taking a portion of my meal and dedicating it to them, and then I leave it somewhere outdoors, usually a cemetery or somewhere where the little critters can get it on a paper plate, of course, something biodegradable. So that's the way I like to do it. And a dumb supper is exactly that. There's no talking. So it's very mindful, very present. You're very aware of every mouthful you're eating. You're very aware of the presence of who's sitting at the table with you. You're very aware of who you're there in honour of as well, and who you've dedicated your candle to and things like that. So it's a really mindful way to spend the evening. And of course, just before the dumb supper, we always dress up and do trick or treating for the children outside the shop. And they all come down to the witch's shop. The witch's shop for sweeties. So yeah, I invite all the sisters of spirit to come and dress up and to come and hand out sweeties, and then we go on and have a dumb supper, and then we do a bit of a pumpkin spell. So we take a medium-sized pumpkin and we hollow that out, and everyone puts their dreams, their wishes, what they're wanting to manifest in the second, because obviously traditionally that's Celtic New Year anyway. So we put all our dreams and wishes into the pumpkin while we're doing the Dom Supper. We seal it up and then we go and bury it somewhere.
Oh, I like that. That's nice.
So we sort of, the pumpkin is the vessel that holds the spell, which is quite nice. I've buried a couple in my backyard. Last year, were you with us? We went up to just behind the priory in Lancaster, dug a hole. Buried it up there. So yeah, it's just wherever.
That's lovely.
So that's how I tend to do it.
That's really
Are
nice.
you joining us this year?
I will have to look at the dates and just figure out. But yeah, no, I enjoyed coming to the Dumb Supper last year and doing the pumpkin spell afterwards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was nice. But it was interesting with the Dumb Supper because, yeah, no talking whatsoever, so not even pass me the salt, so it's making sure. And we are a chatty bunch, aren't we?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was quite a challenge.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was actually quite nice once you knew what to expect. Then it was just nice to kind of
Just to
sink
spend
into
that
and
time
think.
mindfully, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. My daughter's birthday she was 44 minutes too late to be a Samhain baby.
Wow.
So yeah, I was telling them, hurry up, will you?
Push harder, push.
So yeah, she it was a C-section, so you
Oh.
know, they could have hurried up.
Yeah, they could.
52 hours later, but yeah. So I've always spent Samhain, Halloween preparing for Morgan's birthday parties and different things like that. So it's always been good fun because she's, you know, it just lends itself really to a birthday party. So we've always done that kind of thing, so decorating the house and things like that. But for us, you could leave the Halloween decorations up all year round. Really.
I know.
So yeah, so I don't really do anything specific to observe it really. So it was interesting to try the Dumb Supper with you last year, and I think that's something I would do, but maybe privately at home sort of thing with the family. So because I think that's quite a good thing to do with your family. Whether I could do it with my family is another thing. But yeah, do you do anything, Ruby, in particular?
No. Oh, my throat went funny then. No, not really. I've done the Hollow the Bones online a couple of times.
Yes, I've done that as well.
The Meeting the Ancestors, which is really good with Callie. And yeah, that brought up a lot of stuff. But I think this year we've got some new friends that are a couple, and I've only ever had friends that are either my friends or Tom's friends, you know, one or the other, not a couple, like they're similar. So we've got friends that are a couple, so I think we're going to do something together, which would be really nice, maybe have a meal and all that kind of thing. Yeah, but I don't know yet. But I don't really, I maybe just have a chat with my mum and that's about it. Because one year when I did something, this old lady, she was like my great auntie or something, Alice, decided to pay a visit while I was quite open, and then she wouldn't leave, and she was very bossy. and I didn't even know about her. And then I went on Ancestry afterwards, and I went back because both my parents, my mum was adopted, so I didn't know her biological parents, and my dad was brought up in care with the nuns, so I didn't know those either. So, but then I went back. So it did lead me on this massive trail back to 1411.
Wow.
I got back to. It was incredible. And there was Alice's name. And I was like, oh, come on now.
Really?
So, yeah, so I have been a little bit wary, I think, to go back into that again. I'm not afraid, but I'm just like, oh, that's a lot of hassle. You know, if somebody's pestering you all the time. So yeah, I just maybe just chat to my mum a little bit.
Did she sort of have something that she wanted to for you to get resolution on, or
I think she was just
nosy?
no, like bossy,
Just bossy.
like almost like it felt like she didn't like men very much, and she was like the one that do everything.
Mm.
And I think actually it mimicked quite a lot of my own life around that time. And I think basically it was just like, sort yourself out, girl, like what's happened here? What's happened to you now?
Right, okay.
Yeah, and then interestingly, the month after, a lot of personal things happened. Oh, I've never put two and two together before. Yeah, massive changes. Interesting.
So there was a reason for it.
Maybe.
Yes.
Are you with that? Are you possibly thinking, actually, do you know what? Maybe I would do that again, because that seems like it was a pivotal moment.
It was, because it was the month after. Oh, interesting. I'm going to have a
They
think
always
on
have
that.
a reason.
Yeah.
If they're being bossy and sort of nudgy, if spirit is nudging you and pestering you, there's always a reason.
Yeah.
Especially if she's been hanging around 600 and odd years.
I know,
To be
right?
like, come on, Ruby.
Yeah.
Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and if I explained what had happened in the November, then it'd make complete sense. But obviously that's deeply personal, so I won't go into it. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks, Alice.
She's like a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me this sort of Samhain will be really in honour of my grandmother, and really make some connections there and spend some time. So I'll do, obviously, host the supper and host those things, but then privately I will do my own thing.
Yeah.
And I do things like, so the pumpkin spell is one of the things I like to do sort of with a group, but on my own I might do some real singing on the bone, so using sheep skulls and things like that, really gildering the runes, which is like singing the runes in.
Okay.
So I use bones as a conduit, because it's a physical thing of something that's past. So I use it as a bit of a conduit, and I might spend some time with the bones and just see what comes through, see what happens, see if I can communicate and just, it's not even really communicating, it's just communing. It's just this deep sort of connecting, I suppose, with grandmother energy.
Yeah, bless her.
Yeah.
What sorry, Cindy.
What?
I just thought of something. Every time I like sit with my hands like this, and especially now at this time of year, do you remember the toffee crisp advert?
Oh, is she there, Sydney?
Did you ever see that?
No.
Did you ever see? No, because you were in South Africa. So there was this. So a toffee crisp was like.
But when you place your hands on the table, oh my goodness, I know.
It was like a chocolate bar with like Rice Krispie toffee stuff in it, and they were called toffee crisps, and they were in an orange packet.
Yeah.
So this advert was these people at this table, and they're like, "Oh, yes, Sydney," and then all of a sudden this toffee crisp wrapper does this and falls onto the table. We'll have to find the advert and show you. It's really funny.
Yes. I don't dabble with Ouija boards and things like that. That's not my thing. I like physical things like the bone here. So to me, to light the candle with the bone, to use the bone as a little conduit and an honouring.
What bone is this, Cindy?
That's a hip. No. It's either a hip, because that's a ball and socket joint I've got the candle in. It's either hip or a shouldery thing of a sheep.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. but I have found, or Paul found for me, a reindeer skull with the horns, fully intact, and it's got moss growing all in it. So I'm going to use that.
Gosh.
I know, it's beautiful.
We saw a reindeer the other day. Oh,
We've
the
had
other
deer in our
night.
back field.
Have you?
Yeah.
It stopped right in front of the car and we were just going, oh my God, don't move, look at it. It was beautiful. It had all its like downy, velvety fur on its antlers. Oh, it was gorgeous.
Nice. We've had some deer in the back field, which we don't often get at all. The other morning, I pulled the curtain open, and as I did it, the movement must have startled it, and it ran away. I was like, oh God. And then Paul was outside, and I'm shouting, "There's one here! There's one here!" Yeah.
Oh,
So that's been really, and we've had hedgehogs in the front and the back.
Oh.
So we're really happy.
When I was a little girl, we had a family of hedgehogs that lived under the shed, and the shed was in front of the back room window, so you could like peek, out the curtains and watch them all doing snuffling and so nice. Love them. So cute. Talking of hedgehogs, actually, this is a thing that I want you to be aware of. If you find a hedgehog and it looks like it's dead, just gently pick it up and put it somewhere safe, like in under some bushes or something, because what's happening is they're trying to hibernate, but because of everybody chopping everything down, they're finding less and less places to actually make a proper nest. So they're just like hibernating it in something, and then if leaves are blowing away and stuff, they've not actually made a proper thing. But a lot of people see them and just think they're dead. So, they might just leave them on a pavement or terrible and put them in a bin or something. So just make them a little nest somewhere and
I when I go on walks, I pick up lots of sheep wool, and then underneath our shed there's like big like spaces, like runners, and I put all the sheep's wool in there because I think mice and things over winter can just go into the sheep's wool underneath.
That's so lovely. Oh, if I'm an animal, I want to come back in your garden.
I want to build some hedgehog homes though.
Yeah, they'd be nice. And then ones you get in the supermarkets are terrible. They're made of like that. Is it coconut core stuff?
Yeah.
And the spikes get stuck in them. Yeah. So it's really dangerous. So you shouldn't buy them from the supermarkets. And
I know there's like proper places to look up. Like my friend does hedgehog rescue. Yeah. But they need things inside it as well to keep them warm and stuff like that. So I've been researching what to do.
Well, then sheep's wool wouldn't be that good, would it?
It might get stuck on the things, but they could.
I shove it in the hedges for the birds as well. I just pick it all up and.
No, these ones are from. I'm not going to mention the supermarkets, but they're from 2 cheap supermarkets, and they're like a dome, but it's that coconut core, so they go in and they get stuck because of the spikes in the way that it's like that, and they can't, and they're stuck there and they can't get out. So with sheep's wool, even if it got stuck on the spikes, they could just walk off from that, couldn't they? But this is like an igloo-y type thing. Yeah.
I get stuck.
Yeah.
I just have to do that. Let's play with the fire. Yeah.
It's like little horns, isn't it?
Well, there's all kinds of things with hedgehogs. Like my friend Adi, she rescues hedgehogs, and I said, I haven't got anything to give, but I do have a bag of cat biscuits. She's just like, too big. Like the cat biscuits are too big for them, so they need like crushing up a bit. And she gives them like meaty cat food. So I've rescued hedgehogs, and then as a precaution I have a little tin of meaty cat food in the car just in case I rescue a hedgehog and can't do anything straight away. So yeah, they're like little baby hedgehogs that I've rescued. They've just been, but that's more if you see them out in the day that they're in trouble. If you see a hedgehog out in the day, it's in trouble. I
just take them to Wolfwood.
To the rescue place.
They're brilliant there. They are brilliant. I've rescued swifts and hedgehogs and all sorts.
My local vets at Greens Lane take them as well, and they pass them on to a person who rescues hedgehogs locally, so he kind of lets them in his garden, and then if they can be released, then I think he does that as well. So
that's really good, because a lot of vets back where I used to live, they wouldn't take any wild animals. They wouldn't. And the RSPCA wouldn't come out for wild animals either, which is really sad. Because there used to be loads of injured seagulls, and there was a lady called Mary, she was bloody brilliant, and anybody that had an injured seagull took it to Mary, and in the back garden she'd built like a seagull hospital. So in the back room she had the bits for where they were most injured, so they were all inside, all warm, and then when they were like rehabilitated a bit, she'd put them out in the backyard in the seagull hospital, and then after a bit she'd like release them. Oh, she was fantastic. Yeah, really lovely.
I love it when people do that, but for seagulls, they're kind of unloved a bit, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're sort of seen as a bit of a pest in some
like
people.
pigeons and
Yeah.
seagulls.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
we had a pigeon and we called him Steve.
I love pigeons, they're beautiful.
Oh.
When you look at the colours of the feathers and stuff up close, they're so gentle, and people don't like them, do they?
It's just because they're so common and they're like everywhere, aren't they? So people, I always feel sorry for the ones with like the monkey feet.
I
Because
know,
I'm like, oh. So I tend to feed them.
Yeah, I do.
We had a little a crow just at the end of the village. There was a crow with a broken wing, and so Paul and I felt sorry for it. So every day we'd walk down to the edge of the village, leave some bird food out, because it was always on the same patch of grass. And then one day I walked down, and our postman's called Steve, and I saw Steve had parked at the village hall and was dashing across the road. Hi Steve, what are you doing? Now he's leaving half a sandwich. He was also feeding the bird, and apparently quite a few people were doing the same thing. All feeding this crow. He was like, yeah. Like a little fat crow. Oh, putting its wing up.
That's funny.
It would, every day it was there, ready for its food.
Oh my God.
So everyone was feeding this poor crow. Well, it wasn't so poor.
No,
Happy little crow.
Yeah.
Really happy little crow, yeah.
Oh, I'd love to have a crow. You know these people you see on these videos, and they've like rescued the crow, and then they're like loyal because they remember your face, don't they?
Yeah.
So if people are mean to them, they remember.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, how amazing would that be? Come on, crow. You're just walking down the street with a crow on your shoulder.
I think I'm a member of Corvid's fans on Facebook, and there's loads of stories where people have been kind and like rescued or like fed, and they get little presents brought to them. I'm like, how cool would that be? Just like a little crow bringing you a present every day.
Amazing.
Now, in my dreams, there's always an owl that flies to my shoulder.
there?
Yeah. And one particular dream, I was walking with my other granny, and I was there's always the same building we go to. And it's a school, it's a place of learning. But this particular dream, we were walking down a long avenue of trees, old trees. And as we were passing each tree, an owl flew past, and it came out of the tree as we were walking and passing, and my granny and I were walking towards this building. And that particular one, and then in so many others, this owl always comes to sit on my shoulder.
Oh, owls are amazing.
So I've got this thing, in some of the dreams, when you wake up, you could feel the owl there. It's like so real.
It's wisdom, isn't it, owls? Wisdom,
Well,
wild.
Artemis, wisdom.
Yeah.
I thought it was Athena.
Athena.
Because that's the reason
Athena,
why
not
owls are associated with Athena and wisdom, because of Athens being like the centre for learning, and there's a lot of owls in
Oh.
Athens, so that's why the association became.
2 days before my dad passed, an owl sat on our family house, and he saw it, and he said to my mum, "Oh, it's come to fetch someone." And an owl, I had on my farm in South Africa, I had it's like a stone circle in a whole lot of pine trees, and I had a nesting pair of eagle owls there, so I always had owls overhead. But it was the week before my dad passed, and an owl came to sit at my front gate. literally on the front gate. I was like, what are you doing there? That was interesting.
Yeah.
So they are the gatekeeper, and they the sort of the messenger to say I'm coming.
Yeah.
That's how I see them a little bit as well.
We had a big laburnum tree in our garden when I was little, and in front of my bedroom window, and there was an owl and a wood pigeon that lived in the laburnum tree. So you could always hear them, and I used to go to sleep at night, and that's what you'd hear. They'd take it in turns, making noises and stuff. The pigeon would be in the day, it was a wood pigeon, and then this owl at night, you'd be like, And now if I can't get to sleep, I put owl sounds on my phone, and I'm like, I like back all cosy. Yeah. Yeah. Funny, isn't it?
So what else are we thinking? We've got so much going on. We've started the Patreon.
Yep.
The buy us a coffee.
Yeah.
And we are looking at a host of new activities and things. So we're busy brewing a lot at the moment.
Yeah,
it's like October's like the things, everything's got chucked into the cauldron. We're giving it a stir and see what comes out. So we'll keep you posted on all the new things that we're doing.
Yeah, definitely. We was thinking of travelling about a little bit as well, weren't we? Yeah. So we had Amanda, as you saw, Amanda's video. We went to visit Amanda. So if you know of anybody that you think it'd be good to come on the YouTube.
Any guests you'd like to see, yeah.
Let us know.
Favourite authors, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'd be really good. And we can do a little Crones on tour.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which would be really good. And we started the Patreon and the Buy Me a Coffee because we thought some people might want to be on the Patreon. You can be on Patreon as a free member, so you don't have to pay. You can be on for free and see a few little bits. But then we've got 3 tiers. So the tiers go up in price, and for each tier you get more things. So on the Patreon we'll do behind the scenes, exclusive things, early access to videos, some downloadable journal pages, spell pages, all that kind of stuff, bloopers.
Lots of bloopers.
There's lots of bloopers. All sorts of things. But then if you just thought, well, I don't want to subscribe to something, then there's the Buy Me a Coffee. And what happens, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
What happens is any money that we get for this, for the Buy Me a Coffee, we put it back into what we're doing, don't we? So it pays for petrol for us to travel and go and see guests or get microphones and all that kind of stuff. So know that even if it's just something you do once, that makes a massive difference to us, doesn't it? Yeah. And we're so grateful, like really grateful to all of you. And we'll always, even though we've got them, we'll always share on Facebook and YouTube as well anyway, won't we? Yeah.
So we've got some book reviews coming up just in the next couple of months, and you're hopefully going to show us soon a sneak preview of the pottery. Pottery showdown.
Yes.
The 3 of us, a pottery showdown.
We could have a grand opening.
Yeah.
A grand opening at the Pottery.
Yeah.
And lots of lovely people could come and throw witch pots. I don't know. What's a witch pot? I don't know.
That you just made it up, but TM.
Yeah.
Copyright. A witch pot.
Yeah. Yes, it's going to be lovely. What's shadow work? Because I've heard you mentioning shadow work before.
Yeah.
So,
you go.
Shadow work, Jungian psychology. It is about acknowledging and accepting and embracing, and whatever you want to call it, those parts of yourself that you have suppressed. And they can be positive or negative, and this is what people when they hear the word shadow, they think it's all the negative parts of self. But sometimes in our conditioning, and we a lot of our conditioning is our caregivers, our primary caregivers, condition us and we suppress parts of ourselves. So say for instance I'm 4 years old, I'm a really bubbly little toddler, I've got strawberry blonde curls, and I walk into the room and I always steal the limelight because I just have that it factor. And somebody keeps going meh, 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 and putting you down. Oh, you're always making a fuss about yourself, you're always da 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 da. Eventually I become conditioned to walk into the room and sort of blend into the wallpaper. So I'm suppressing something that's really positive. People suppress their voices, their singing voices sometimes. People are really good singers, but something in their conditioning, something over the years will happen where they will... So it can be a positive and negative, and that's, I think, what for me is the most important thing for people to learn, is that it's not the bad in you that can, but anything that's suppressed can be a shadow. And it's to look in the mirror, look deeply into the mirror, find those other parts of you, and then it's almost like putting them on as a backpack or like an armor and going, right insecurity, right fear of heights, let's go on this adventure, let's all go. And it's sort of making your shadow your best friend. And in my journal book that I've just done, I'll let Aisha give you her version as well, but in my journal book I talk about my granny and my grandmother who's just passed. She went through Jungian psychology. She studied Jung. I studied Jung when I was in college, in university. But she went in her adult years through the process and that. And she always refers to her shadow as this really... She's a librarian and a head lecturer. So you can imagine what she presents to people is very...
accomplished and together.
Yeah, very together, very down the line, straight and narrow type of person is a librarian. Normally, that's the perception. And her shadow is this naughty gypsy woman who's quite promiscuous, likes to swear, and she likes to nick things. So every now and again with my granny, you'll see those little things, and she always talks about this naughty woman that would come out.
Oh, that's interesting, because I just thought it was about going into your trauma and working on your trauma, and then that's what I just presumed it was.
That kind of forms part of it
Yes.
anyway, because
Yeah.
there's reasons why you have those suppressed parts of you. I mean, I haven't studied it. It's something that's been kept coming up over the last few years for me, and looking into it and then just reading a little bit deeper every time. And I listened to a podcast called The Shadow Work Library, and it's really interesting because as part of it, she goes through some of the what you might class as shadow aspects, but then explains why we have that shadow aspect, and then helps you kind of understand how it's helping you or how it could help you. So it's like then turning it in such a way that you can accept it, and then you can bring that part of yourself and think, actually, no, I'm okay with this. So rather than thinking what I should be or what I should be for all these people, it's like going, who am I, and which bits cause me the most like shame, and then kind of unpicking that a little bit, and then finding out, well, why does that cause me shame, where does that come from? So yeah, it does go back into because you've had at some point something that's caused you to feel in that way about that part of yourself, when sometimes I look at other people and think, they're okay with doing that. Yeah, if I try and do that, I'm like crippled with like, oh, my shame, dogs and things. So it's interesting, but I keep kind of dipping into it then coming back out. So it's usually at this time of the year that I start reading more, because I feel like it fits with the season and that kind of hunkering down and getting cozy, and when there's no other distractions, it's like, okay, so who am I wrapped in this blanket? So yeah, I find it and plus I guess it fits with this time of year. It's just something that you quietly observe and start to unravel and unpick it a little bit. So
Oh, so interesting. Cindy's doggies are down here.
Cindy's doggies down here.
You're good girls.
Yeah.
So, thank you for explaining that. So, go on.
I don't think it fully explains it. It's just little bits of it. Yeah.
I know more than I did because I just thought it was like deep trauma, dark bits of yourself. I just thought it was that.
Yeah, it can be really positive things, and sometimes because of conditioning and that we bury our positives. We dim our light to make others feel better. You know, sometimes we dim our light, and so it's about rediscovering, and it's about embracing the whole of you.
Oh, interesting.
About embracing the whole of you. You know, when you stand under the light, you see the front of you, but the back is still there.
Yeah.
It's just the light. It's just not highlighted, but it's still there.
Yeah.
So it's about embracing all the parts.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah. So November is the time I'm doing it, and I've chosen the 8th of the 11th for various reasons to start the course, and then I've designed a little journal with daily prompts and things, so people can do it on their own with just the journal, or we can do it with all the meditations and all the work. And it's nice because I'm actually going to do it at the same time again. I'm not just going to teach it, I'm going to do it. And were you at the introduction talk? The introduction to shadow work talk? I think
I've done your introduction course
a
couple of times now.
It was really interesting because I got people to write, to think of a person that they really just rubs them up the wrong way. This was just an exercise I gave them. Think of a person that just when they enter the room, or when you know you're going to see them, you just know that happens to your body. And there's always that one person that you just now call them in front of you and now say 3 things about why you don't like them or what you don't like about them. And then you have to say you are, and list the things. And then there was an exercise, and at the end of it I said, now you have to say I am those things. Because that person is the mirror or the trigger.
Right.
And I had said 3 things about a person, who I'm not going to name, but I had said 3 things. And I hadn't pre-planned anything. Those 3 things just came out. I was being completely authentic. And then I realised, oh, poop. I now have to say I am these things, and they are things that I really believe I'm not.
Yeah.
And I had to sort of suck it up and say these things out loud in front of the whole group as well. So it was really a learning curve for me, and it was really like, oh, okay, so I've got some stuff I need to work with here. So I'm going to be facilitating, but I'm actually going to be doing it with everyone as well. And I think that works really well. So that's going to be interesting for me.
And is that just in person or online?
It's in person and online. So the first and the last session are in person, and the rest are online. There'll be daily meditations. We'll have a group. There'll be daily meditations, but you've got a journal and there's stuff to do. I'm not going to check the work at all. It's all very
self-led.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm there to guide and to go, let's just have a look there.
Yeah.
Let's just see that.
Yeah.
What do you think that means? So yeah, I'm there to do that and to hold the space. And
it is very interesting when you look at the complaints we have about other people and the things that really get our back up.
Wind
and then
us
when
up.
you actually take a moment and take a step back, oh yeah,
When you were saying it, I was thinking of someone and things, and then when you said at the end, and I was like, I am not any of them things. And now I'm ruminating on it. I'm thinking, what if I am them things?
And that, one of the things in particular I said about that person is something that really I believe I'm actively not. And I thought, okay, now you have to accept that some part of you needs to unpick this, and that was quite a lesson for me.
Because it's understanding what upsets you so much about that particular thing, isn't it?
So yeah, it was really a learning curve, and I did do the work on it because that was about a year ago that I did that introduction workshop, and I did do the work on it and unpick it. So I'm grateful for that.
That's really interesting.
You never finished learning your lessons.
Oh no.
But yeah, I like shadow work. I like getting dirty with stuff. Getting my hands in the mud. I do. I would love to leave all of the shiny stuff behind and just really go and get deep into the mud. But I think that's in 5 years' time. That's where I'll be really be in that
Why
level
5 years' time?
I just know it in my bones.
Okay.
I'm not there yet. In 5 years' time, I will have. It's like a different. It's another shift that's happening, and I feel it's happening. And there is a transition and a transformation happening, but there's some things that just need to shift more slowly, and all the shiny, all the glitter will be gone. All the glitter will be gone.
That's really interesting that you said 5 years, because in 5 years that's after the fourth turning of the new world coming in, so that'd make perfect alive.
You've been doing all the galactic stuff.
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah. So that's really interesting. So the galactic calendar is like it's like a different calendar from the Gregorian calendar. And I've also been looking at the Mayan calendar as well. And it's so interesting. So every day you've got a different tribe and tone and an activation. So each person when they're born is given a tribe and a tone. And there's 12... Sorry, go on.
Are these galactic tribes?
Yeah. So, yeah, the galactic tribes. And there's 12 of each. So there's 12... No, that isn't right. There's 12 tones and there's 20 tribes.
Okay.
So I'm Red Rhythmic Earth, and back in September it was my galactic spiritual birthday, and that comes around every 260 days. So that's a different birthday than the day you was actually born out of your mum.
So how do you work out your galactic spiritual birthday?
So there's a really good site. It's called 13 Moon. And you can put your date in, and then it tells you which one it is. And on that site as well, it tells you what the tone for the day is and what the tribe for the day is. And then you've got a galactic activation. Now, when you read the galactic activations, some of it, they don't start, you're reading, you're like, that doesn't make good English. But it's not about the words making sense in your brain, it's a feeling. It's like a feeling. So I've been doing paintings for most of them, yeah. And I go on 3 different sites. Mayan one, because on the Mayan site you can download your own chart. You can do that free, a mini one, and then I paid for the big one, which was really interesting. I'm a crocodile, and number two and a crocodile, and the house I grew up in was a number 2. Isn't that funny? And I like the number 2. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So I check the 3 different sites, and then I read all the information, and then I say the galactic activation out loud. There is a bit on some of them that it says at the end, enter me, and I never say that bit, because I'm not calling anything in to enter me. I don't apart from Tom. But yeah, I won't say that bit. But and then when I've read all that, then I just feel into what it'd look like, and then I do the painting, and it's such a lovely process. Really interesting. Yeah, so mine's a tone 2, and when you read it, it's really interesting that like it proper ties into what you feel that you are, and you can see what jobs you're meant to be doing, what the Mayan calendar what recommends what you're doing, and I was like, oh my god, yes, this is me.
Okay,
and
so
then,
it's linked with the Mayan
yeah
calendar.
So then I read Tom's one, and he went, that isn't me at all, and I went, let's see what job you should be doing, Tom, and it was a farmer or a fisherman.
And is that his dream job or no?
I went, that's what we need, a farm, you can be a farmer. He was like, no. So it was hilarious. But yeah, it's so interesting.
And the tribes,
Yeah.
so you said something about red,
And Red Earth.
and that's a tribe.
That's a tribe, yeah.
Because when I was thinking about it, you saying galactic, I was thinking like actuarian, Andromeda.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
thinking like more actual.
No, so there's like...
Because I know I've got links to the Acturians.
Right, no, they're like, there's like Blue Eagle, Red Earth, Yellow World, there's a Word Bringer tribe, like there's all different ones like that. So it's not like
Okay.
Galactic space.
Not space.
Yeah, yeah, but it's so interesting.
Because I've had a few meditations and journeys, especially my journey into the upper realms. Very Andromeda was quite big, and then the Acturians. So that was interesting. So I'm investigating a bit further into that as well.
Yeah, no, it's not that. I think have you heard of the like the light language as well? So I was looking into the light language for a bit, and
doing all sorts with that. Yeah.
And I think I couldn't figure out if it was Lemurian, but I think it was is it the Palladian? I can never say the word. Palladian. Is it the Palladian?
Pleiades, because it's linked with the
Pleiades.
Pleiadian
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
So when you can listen to all the different sounds of the light language of the things, and when I listened to that one, the Pleiadian one, I was just like, just could feel it, like in my, like it was almost like just cleansing my whole body, and I was just like, oh my god, this is beautiful. Not like when you listen to music and you go, oh, that's a nice song. It's like I could feel it going through all my body, and I was like, oh, something here with this. So yeah, really interesting.
Just after I'd done this journey work and had this experience, a lot of language was coming out of me, so I was doing a lot of automated writing, but also automated talking. And I thought, well, this doesn't sound like what everyone else is doing, and I don't know what this is. And then I started recording myself, and it's like I'm having a whole conversation, because there's like laughing and there's intonations in it and everything. And I was like, and at some points it's like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, let's just put this to bed for a while. I'm not quite ready for this, I don't think.
When you were
So I actually haven't done it for a long time, and I haven't sat with the automatic writing for quite some time as well. I did for my gran, when I wrote the poem, I just let the words come, and that was more like being in a meditative state and letting the words come. But the automatic writing, I was journeying almost every day, and just coming.
Yeah. When you did the light language, because I've done it a few times, but only when I'm led in bed. Like if I know that sounds weird, but like there's something about being led in bed with my eyes shut that I can just let it come. If I'm up, it's like I'm too self-conscious or something. And when it's happening, I feel really grounded. Like I'm really, like if you've done, I don't know, 2 hours of meditation constantly or something, and you feel like proper. It just makes me feel really grounded and like all my nervous system's regulated or something. It's such a lovely feeling, but the same as you, I was like, what is all this? And I recorded myself and I was like,
I know.
it's like I don't know what it means, but I know what it means.
That's
in
how
my
I
bones
describe
or-
it. It's like I know what I'm saying when I'm saying it.
Yeah,
But as soon as I stop saying it,
yeah,
I can't tell you what I've just said.
yeah.
But when I'm saying it, I know what I'm saying. For me, it's when I'm doing things where I'm not, also don't have to focus. So I could be driving a car. So when you're driving a car, you go into that state of you're just doing automatic stuff.
Oh, okay.
And when I'm doing automatic stuff, or very like watering the garden, or sometimes it just.
It's such a strange thing. Because I was watching videos and thinking, they're just making stuff up here. They're just going, blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? And making all these things and stuff. And I thought, what's this about? Like, what a load of rubbish. And then when I started to look into it more and started to, like, and I thought, this is really interesting, actually. This is very interesting. More how it makes me feel.
I'll look at something and I go, right,
Yeah.
whoa, good for you. So it's a difficult one when you just are doing this.
Yeah, because it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
It does,
It just sounds
absolutely.
ridiculous. And to say it, people will be like, as
No.
if you do that. But it's such a good feeling. I liken it to, have you ever done this? I went to a core therapist once, and she put a thumb.
A what kind of thing?
Core therapist with a K. She put a thumb in the roof of my mouth and held my head somewhere, and I felt all this liquid go right up my spine into my head.
You told me about that.
Yeah. And it was, oh my God, my body just went, oh, like just beautiful. And it was like I can't even describe what it was, but sometimes now, when I wake up in the morning and I'm led in a certain position, it comes, I can feel it and I can hear, it's like you can hear it in your head, bubbling up your head. And I'm like, oh, and I just don't want it to stop, but as soon as you move at all, it stops. And it's like, oh, I just want more of that. And that's the same feeling I get from the light language thing. Really interesting. Yeah.
I've only ever listened to people talk about it, but I've never really looked into it. So it's kind of interesting that you both, especially when you're saying like, thought people making it up to start with, because it is a bit. Okay.
And
But
they
it's good that
definitely
you say that.
You know, those are definitely my thoughts. And then I was, like I say, I was going through a really deep period of introspection, or whatever you want to call it, where I was journeying, and the automatic writing was happening, and things were happening, and the dreams were not dreams. Kid you not, it was just. And then this just started automatically happening during that time, and I was like, I think I spoke to you about it at one point. I was like, I think I'm going a bit loopy here. You know what I mean? Because it really sounds bizarre, and where a lot of people are doing what I call light language, and it's all light and unicorn fluff, and it's really got that sort of vibrational feel, whereas mine is nothing like that. Mine is quite guttural, quite deep. When I've recorded it and listened back, you can hear words that are repeated sporadically.
But they're not words like we're speaking now,
No,
are they?
but it would, like we
sounds.
say like or and that. It's like interspersed, and you think, well, if I'm making it up, how do I remember that I've said that word there, and there?
Yeah.
How am I? So it is like they are. So, and then I was just like, do you know what? Let's just put that right in a box, label it under the bed with a padlock on it, just for now.
I mean, you'll revisit it when the time's right.
And and see what happens.
Open-minded.
Yeah.
Sceptical, but
I'm sceptical. I'm very
I'm
sceptical
sceptical
of everything
Yeah.
until
It happens to you, and then
it
I'm
happens
like,
to me,
oh
and then
my
I'm
god,
like,
it's
oh.
real.
That's a thing, is it?
So we're nearly finished
Yes.
because time's ticking on, and I want some food.
And don't you like our vampire tear candles that have...
Beautiful.
The pink has made
so
blood.
Beautiful. So before we finish, let's end on our favourite movies to watch at this time of year.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's obviously been to Beetlejuice.
I haven't.
I haven't seen the
Again,
new Beetlejuice.
second
No.
Beetlejuice.
I
No,
haven't. Have you?
not yet. No.
So
I
not
was-
everyone then.
I- no, well, I booked to go and see it and then got ill, so
Oh.
didn't go see it. Favourite Halloween movie?
Ooh. I like watching. I love Practical Magic. That's like my number one
Well, we've watched that
favourite.
recently.
Watched that recently.
Number two's coming, isn't it?
Yes,
You're doing
that's
number
exciting. If that
Ooh.
happens. But yeah, I love the Hocus. I like the Hocus Pocus ones actually. I like the original one, but then I like the more modern one as well, because I just love that where she goes into the shop and she's like, because it's like me with the roller doors at work.
Yeah. I did that the other day in the library. I went like that with the doors and they opened and I thought of you. I was like, yes. I actually was really surprised how good that was. Because I did think, oh, here we go, a sequel, you know, like, oh, what are they going to do to it? But I was really surprised how good it was.
Yes.
Yeah, really surprised.
And I do want to walk down the street arm in arm with go.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love them. For me, I do like Practical Magic that we watched. My favourite, it's not really a Halloweeny one though, but my favourite is Mists of Avalon. I absolutely adore that movie. I can watch it over and over and over.
What's it about?
The
Well, the Mists of Avalon, obviously,
yeah.
but
It's a retelling
it.
of like all the
It's all
Arthurian
right, my
sagas, but from the point of view of the women. So it has it was like a book I got when I was 15. I think my mum got it me, and it just changed
The Mists
so
of
much.
Avalon.
Yeah.
Practical Magic. Hocus Pocus.
Merlin.
Merlin.
Love Merlin. Oh my god, and to be
The
like
TV series
Morgana.
or
The TV series.
yeah, we love
This is Helena Bonham Carter and Isabella
Oh, that's a
Rossellini.
different Merlin then.
Yeah,
Oh.
Isabella Rossellini is in it.
Yeah.
Sam Neill, isn't it? Who plays Merlin?
I can't even read that.
Is it-
right.
Yes,
Isn't it
Sam
from-
Neill. Yeah.
The guy from Jurassic Park, isn't it?
I'll take a picture of that.
Do you want to use?
I don't
Watch
know
it.
where. We
It's
have
a
a
good 2
DVD
hours.
player, but I don't know
You
where
can
it
watch
is.
it in your computer.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's
can
like
you?
Yeah.
Morgan.
Can't you watch it in the computer?
Yeah, you should be
Yeah.
able to.
Oh,
Put it in your
okay.
Got a
computer.
CD drive.
Oh
it'll do it.
yeah.
But yeah, the Lady of the Lake and Guinevere, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
the
So
third
it's
one? Been a while since
it's
seen it.
told from the Lady of the Lake's point of view. So this is my favourite all time. I read the book. A friend of mine, Dion, lent me the book, and then I got the DVD, and it is brilliant. Very, very good.
Awesome. Mine's any Tim Burton films. Any Tim Burton films. Apart from the very early ones. But yeah, any of them. I'll watch them. I just love them. It's just got that. Corpse Bride. Oh my god, I love Corpse Bride. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Fish. That's not very Halloweeny, but all of them. Oh, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
I love
that.
Oh,
Yeah, but I
That's
love her.
brilliant.
She's
Oh,
brilliant.
that's brilliant.
Yeah,
That's
you'll
really good.
enjoy
I like
that.
all the fantastical beasts. I've got
Yes, I love
all
them.
the Terry Pratchett.
Mm.
I've got all of Terry Pratchett's and the Fantastical Beasts. I've got the whole series
They're
of
really
them.
good then.
I know, I love like binge watching Harry Potter and doing it back to back.
Paul watches it all the time. I'll come home because I'll have been teaching yoga or something. I'll come in the door and there's always a Harry Potter on, and how many times have you watched this?
I haven't done it for a while because I'm like trying to leave it for a while, and then I'll just really go into it and binge watch them. And
I'm
then
not
it
mad
will be-
about Harry Potter.
Oh, I love it.
I can leave Harry Potter.
Yeah, I like
But
it.
I like Terry Pratchett. I like the other ones.
Fantastical Beasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those I like.
And I really like, it's not a film, but I really like watching the autumn special of Gilmore Girls at this time of year. It's like, we're just cosy, it's just nonsense. Romance in a little town in America that's not actually real, sadly. But yeah, I just love it. It's just such a nice thing to watch.
I don't know why, but you've just reminded me. I loved The Worst Witch when I was growing up.
The Worst Witch.
I had all the books, but then they made it into a more recent series.
Yeah.
But there was a film back in the 1980s that me and my sister watched endlessly. We had it on a recorded like VHS, so obviously it missed the first 5 minutes and probably the end as well, but it had Tim Curry as the Grand High Wizard, and I just love Tim Curry. So it's a really like... In fact, I think one of the women who's in it was possibly in Practical Magic. She's one of the ladies that works in the shop.
Oh, in the shop.
In the
oh, yes. I know
Yeah.
which one you mean. The cookie one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm sure she's in it as one of the bad witches,
Yes.
like sidekicks
Yes.
sort of thing.
I've
love
seen
that.
her in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mildred Hubble, I just love Mildred Hubble so much with her tabby
Yeah.
cat and her like untied laces and just
It's on Netflix.
yeah.
Have you seen it? I think it's called Earwig.
Ooh, no.
That's I think that's on Netflix. Earwig. It's like it's a bit like an animation-y, you know, like a Studio Ghibli kind of thing. But I don't know if it is by them, but it's that kind of thing. But it's called Earwig. That's
I might
quite.
have it on my to watch list because I go
Right.
through every now and again and like just pick things and
Yeah.
because there's that Spirited Away I keep being recommended
Oh,
that
yeah.
apparently the artwork's amazing and things like that, and that's Studio Ghibli as well,
Yeah.
so yes.
Lost Boys.
So-
I always like
Oh,
Lost
it's a
Boys as well.
classic.
Yeah, it is a classic. Yeah.
How do you like them noodles, Michael?
Oh, Michael.
I don't even know what you're talking
Oh
about.
my goodness!
Have you not seen Lost Boys?
Oh,
You've got to watch
I
Lost
don't watch
Boys.
a lot. I don't watch a lot of telly.
It's like a film
Kiefer
from
Sutherland,
the 80s. Yeah,
it's got
really good
Jason
film.
Patrick.
About vampires.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Michael.
So I recognise Kiefer
Kiefer
Sutherland's
Sutherland.
name, but I never remember like actresses and actors' names. I'm rubbish with that.
Oh, you'll enjoy it, Cindy. It's good.
Because I think at the time Julia Roberts was going out
This
with...
isn't very Halloween.
Lost Boys is
Yeah.
vampires.
Vampires, okay.
Oh, and what was she in? The mum who...
She was in Goonies as well.
She was in...
Adam's Family.
Adam's
Love
Family.
that.
Oh,
And
Adam's
Wednesday.
Family. Yes.
Oh yeah,
I've got to watch
Wednesday.
Wednesday
That's Tim
Addams
Burton
again.
as well, isn't it?
That's another series that's supposed to be coming out, isn't
Yeah,
it? They're supposed to be
I
doing
think
A
so.
new.
ones.
There should be a new
Yeah.
one. New.
What's your favourite Halloween
Yes.
film?
Tell us your
And
favourite Halloween
series
film.
is? Yeah, let us know.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
think we've pretty much
Yeah.
covered a lot, haven't we there?
We have.
So, we're ready?
Our brews are through.
Our
brews
bums
are
on.
numb.
Our
Oh,
bums are numb.
let's try again.
I was laughing at you. You're wheezy laugh and then I snorted. Right then. Bit of decorum, girls. 1, 2, 3. Our brews are through. Our bums are numb. Till the next moon. We'll see you soon. That was a funny ending.